if I had to choose one of these bars to grow the biggest back possible, which one do you think I'm putting in your program? All right, guys and girls, I want to share some thoughts on lat pull downs. And, you know, this means something to me because when I was young and starting out in bodybuilding, everyone used this handle, which is the long, classic lat pull down bar. And I remember watching countless videos of professional bodybuilders who had great backs, Arnold, you know, you name it. And they all said, you want a big, wide back, you need to do wide grip lat pull downs, you need to grip it all the way to the end. And I did that because why? I was a great listener. And I wanted a big back. I wanted to be thick and wide and do all the pull downs with as much of the weight on the stack as possible, right? Sadly, when I did this as a young bodybuilder, as a young kid, all that did, I felt it in my rear delts and my biceps. So let me show you a few reps and show you why this isn't good for me. So as I said, grab all the way in, so pinky to the end. Sit down, and then with this, all I'm thinking about doing is just driving this bar as close to my chest as possible. Even to this day, in a significantly better back, bigger back, and yet all I do is feel that in my biceps and rear delts. And it's because if you look at that pull and line of force, it just doesn't work for me. And now listen, if you're out there watching this video and you're like, man, Chris, when I do wide grip lat pull downs, it drills my lats, then keep at it. This video is not for you. But if you're one of the guys and girls out there who do these wide grip lat pull downs or pull ups, and they're like, man, my biceps, my rear delts, my upper back, meaning in between my shoulder blades, so mid trap, teres, major, minor, all that across the middle of your back, what I want to think about is if that's lighting up, but I feel nothing in my lats, this isn't the right bar for you. So let me take this traditional lat pull down bar off and put on what I would use. If you look here, this is going to be more narrow, meaning it's not going to put my hands as a nearly as wide position. Next, what you're going to notice here is a neutral grip. So for me, this allows me to be able to really drive my elbows down, sit my triceps on top of my rib cage, and squeeze my lats. So with this, I actually prefer this grip, this width, because what I'm gonna do, let me sit down with this and I'm gonna get him to swing around from the back, and look how that lines up in terms of my shoulder girdle or my, however you wanna think about the width of my shoulders, right? So when I pull this down, everything lines up perfect, and I'm able to really sit those triceps down on my lats. So all day long, if I'm gonna have to choose a double-handed lat pull down, it's gonna be something with a neutral or semi-supinated grip. And then on top of that, it's gonna be roughly shoulder width for me. Not super wide, not super narrow, but in grand scheme of life, if I'm having to choose between super wide or super narrow, I'm gonna choose super narrow because I can sit that down, right? So if you look at that, here, let me actually show you some reps. Same technique and form, sit tall, there. Elbows on the ribs, just like that. So think about the hierarchy there of those three different bars. The wide overhand is gonna be my least favorite. The next is gonna be this narrower neutral grip. And then my most favorite is gonna be the shoulder width neutral grip. And the only way I know that is by experimenting. So I really challenge you guys. I'm gonna pan over here. Look at all these grips we have. If it takes you going through that entire selection of pull down bars to find out the one that hits your lats the best, I encourage you to do that. That could be your whole next back workout if I'm being honest. Try every lat pull down bar for 2 sets or 3 sets that your gym has and check them off or X them off. So there you have it, guys, lat pull down bars, which ones to choose, which ones not to choose. And what I want to think about here is doing the one that you feel the most in your lats and the least in your rear delts and biceps. If you like this video, guys, like, share, subscribe. Until next time, Chris on TV.